And it's one of those things where you're a little bit nervous about opening it up because you have no idea what bomb is going to jump off the screen and punch you in the face. So, but it's just getting more and more ridiculous by the day. And, you know, I do agree that, you know, we've had a lot to do with this because whatever plans, you know, the best laid plans of mice men and the Illuminati have definitely been turned upside down here. So, getting back to your conversation, go ahead, Ann.
Well, I was just going to say that amazingly, some of this is starting to leak through the mainstream media. I was listening to Lars Larson on my way home from work yesterday. He had the chairman of GATA on there talking about the government and Federal Reserve manipulating gold prices. That kind of shocks me, you know.
Who had him on?
Lars Larson. He's a conservative talk radio
host. Yes, I know Ron. Liberty, he's one of our subscribers. You know, I've known Bill Murphy for many years, and he's right on, and he must feel like Don Quixote de la Mancha, you know, with the swinging the arms along with the windmills. I think the only guy that had any a good time out of it was Pancho Sancha. And you know, it may seem like someone is flailing against adversity and it has no hope of winning, when in fact, if you're persistent enough, you will win.
Absolutely, and that's
why that's what they're trying to do.
And that, by the way, is why every individual within the sound of our voice, y'all are a lot more powerful than you even think you are. So instead of thinking that you're sheep and beat and can't do a thing about it, listen to programs like this. Get a sample issue of the International Forecaster and listen to the other 30 hours of shows that Bob's on each week. They're listed on each issue of the International Forecaster. Start paying attention. Do a little research. Look up some of the terms that we use on this program in Google and read the stories. This is not a soundbite paradigm shift you're going to go through. You're going to need to pay attention. You're going to need to shut off American Idol, Dancing with the Stars. You're going to have to give up knowing where Tiger Woods is putting his putter this week. You're going to have to start paying attention to the real news that shapes your lives in ways that it's never been presented to you before. This is urgent. You cannot afford to sit aside and just let it happen to you. Go ahead, Ann.
And one of the things that you can do is, I've gotten a couple of my coworkers to wake up at work, and had it not been for me sort of, lambasting them with a lot of the information that I get from like you guys, those two people would not be awake now. And what I tell people is, okay, now that you know the truth, you go out and tell 2 people or 10 people or however many, spread the word. I know that a lot of the referrals that I'm getting to my website signing up for the Civil Revolution, one of the questions on my little sign-up thing is, how did you hear about, the revolt movement? And a lot of them are saying word of mouth. So it's very powerful. Even if you know people that don't use the Internet, you can still spread the word.
Absolutely. Bob, anything to add? You've been fighting this fight for 50 years, and you were a lone voice out there in the woods at one point, but now it seems like there's quite a mass of people that don't disagree with you anymore.
Well, I think adversity brings the mind to open, and people are searching for ways to try to find their way out of the morass, whether it's less working hours or having been laid off or your mortgage is underwater and you don't know whether to walk away or not. You're worried about your children. They're talking about laying off millions of teachers in America. And in that process, you wonder whether your children are going to get an education at all, or will it be anywhere near quality. I mean, we're talking 50 kids to a class, maybe more. And universities, we're talking 500 to a class. And a great many classes being dropped, and many professional teaching people, such as professors and assistant professors, are losing their jobs. And so these are the things that open people's minds and to think about things that are outside the box. And so that gives you a greater opportunity than you've ever had before to talk to other people about the truth.
Yeah.
And we've got the internet today, and all you have to do is go to Ann's site or my site or any site that's involved in this, and you get all kinds of ideas. But more than that, you're going to find out a whole new world that you never knew existed, that is run by evil people who want to subject the population of the entire world to world government and slavery. I mean, these people are exactly what I say they are. I've been reading their literature for 50 years. And I know where they're headed with this thing because they've told us. And all you have to do is read their literature, and you'll know how to react to what they have to say and how to bring people that you know to a better understanding that they would not have come to otherwise.
After you get your temper under control from reading it, though. You know, I have an interesting little story here, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm just going to say that you want to know the paradigm shift that's going on in this country. Couples now fight about financial burdens. Thanks to plummeting property values, divorcing couples now find themselves fighting for the right not to keep the house. The crippled real estate market has turned once valuable assets into huge financial burdens. Now they're trying to sort out what to do with a home that's underwater. Who gets it? You know how you always wanted the home in a divorce? Now you don't want it. How upside down is that? This stuff that's going on is just absolutely turning people's heads and understandings upside down. And I'm sorry they have to go through it, but it's about time, and if that's what it takes to wake people up, so be it. Darwin works in mysterious ways.
We're going to have to feel some pain, and so I think a good analogy is that in recovery with substance abuse and mental health issues is you grow from the pain that you go through. So I think that we're going to feel the pain, and we've got to come out of this stronger. We've just got to.
And I've got a friend who's a psychiatrist, well known in the Phoenix area. And I've asked him off and on to kind of keep me updated about how his patients who come see him, families, couples, individuals, are coping with the economics issue. And it was very interesting. Over the course of the last year, it went from not really engaged to being somewhat concerned to being frightened, and now they're angry. So this is progress, and this is a well recognized psychiatrist who has huge patient bases are telling you this, and you can see the trend on the, you can see the trend. And in your business, certainly you deal with the human and the psychological as well as the physical side of this. What do you notice about the human cost that this, the human toll that we're paying in terms of increased stress and that effect on our health?
Well, I can tell you that visits to our crisis unit, which is a 24/7 crisis clinic, and people landing in our crisis unit, the numbers have almost tripled in the last 2 years. One of the things that we have is a homeless outreach program. We have a facility where my office is located where we allow homeless in the community to come, and we have a washer and dryer. They can do their laundry. They can take a shower. They don't have to be a mental health client to utilize that service. It's just a courtesy we offer the community. The homeless people that are coming in and using those services are not the typical homeless people that we've had in the past. You know, we're talking about mentally ill homeless people, people with drug and alcohol addiction, chronic personality disorders, can't get along in society type of people. We've got a new class of homeless people that are coming in. They're living out of their cars, and these are people who, you know, as recently as 6 months or a year ago, had a place to live, had a job, had a normal life like everybody else, and now they're reduced to this. And it's very sad, and it upsets me to see that.
You freaking illuminist. You see what the hell you're doing to people, and you don't care. Well, let me tell you something.